Welcome back to the John Trading channel. Bitcoin is right now at this major support level and it looks like it wants to make a major move to the upside. Plus we have Ethereum also at this major support level, and the MACD histogram is showing it's about to break above the zero line into the positive region. Plus, I have a lot of crypto news to go with you through today, so make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment if you're enjoying these daily trading videos. First, I want to go over this tweet by Cousin Crypto. Less than 2 weeks to decision time. Will the US default? Honestly, right now might be finally the time that the corruption, the endless printing of money out of thin air, and the greed catches up. I don't think a default is fully out of the question. Raising the debt ceiling? Same problems still occur. Default, at least a band-aid is off. Regardless of what happens, I'm more comfortable going into this with a fat bag of Bitcoin. I also want to point out this funny tweet where it shows the government, the IRS, we will know if you don't report your Venmo transactions over $600, but also the government. We failed our 5th Pentagon order. We don't know where that $2.1 trillion went. Let's just raise the debt ceiling. It shows that one hand that the US government is trying to crack down on its taxes, and on the other hand, when they have trillions of dollars of spending money, it just unfortunately got lost. Next, El Salvador senior Bitcoin advisor, Matt Keyser, fiat money, currencies around the world are collapsing in real time. We're at the end game of a 300-year experiment of central banks, and I could not agree more with this statement. They've tried the central banking system, they continuously raise the debt ceiling, they're using inflation to save their own money and spend that in their own pockets. This system is just done and dusted at this point. Now I want to show you this graph. Percentage of US households with direct ownership in each asset. Just over 50% of US households own stocks, around 20% of US households own gold, and just under 10% own Bitcoin, and even less own real estate. It shows right here that around 10% of US households own Bitcoin. So if you think that you're not early to the game and Bitcoin is already one and done, you're just incorrect, because not a lot of households even understand what the true potential of Bitcoin is. We are still early to this game. Plus, since it's the weekend, I think this is such a perfect picture to show. It's easy to get caught up in the chase. Turn off your computer and go enjoy your weekend. You can see life where you're just continuously chasing money when you're young. Then when you're a little bit older, a little bit more middle age, you're still chasing money. And then when you get old, well, you can't chase money anymore because you're about to fall off the point at the end of life. And it shows that while chasing money is definitely important in life, that it's not the only end all and be all, because one day you'll get to that end and you won't be able to chase money anymore. Since it's the weekend, played a little bit of poker, we've played some golf, and we're coming back to the charts to get ready for the week ahead. Let's begin by looking at the Bitcoin daily time frame. In this area, we have strongly been supporting. We did have this one-day breakout to the downside, but you can see we only had a wick, which means a lot of sellers testing that area and a massive amount of buyers came through in that area to push us to the upside. This was actually the end of the 60-day Bitcoin cycle, which proved to us in the last Bitcoin 60-day cycle that we were in a right-hand translated cycle, which says to us that the next cycle, which has been going for about 7 to 8 days in this area here, has the highest probability of breaking to the upside based on what's happened in the past. You need to look at the past to see what's the highest probability in the future. And initially, we had this support. We had support in this level. We then came back, we retested this support. We're supporting multiple times in this area. And we're also looking at this exponential moving average. We are slightly to the downside. So when we got this breakdown in this area through here, you can see that once we came back into the value zone, there has been sellers in this area. The value zone, as I've been explaining, is in between these two exponential moving averages. This is the medium-term exponential moving average, and this is the short-term moving average. And right in here is the value zone. Since we did have this strong break below, it means that every time we come into this area, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, and even today we've come into this area, there are going to be a short amount of sellers. But the thing about this is you can see on the MACD histogram, it is showing that we're having bullish momentum. As much as there are a few sellers in this area, we're definitely having bullish momentum because we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row of the MACD histogram ticking to the upside, which shows that where the volume is, the volume is actually more buying than there is selling. As much as there are a few sellers in this market, every time we come down, we're buying, and every time we come into this area, we are selling. So we are in that trading range price action right now, but I am expecting either today or tomorrow, we are going to break above this zero line. We're going to then begin to have positive histograms on the MACD, which is then going to allow us to really push to the upside and have that strong breakout. At minimum, we're at least going to retest these areas, and I'm actually expecting to break this high somewhere around the $32,000 per Bitcoin, which is actually up in this area here. So coming down to the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, through the last few weeks, we did have this downtick in the exponential moving average, which shows that we did have a high probability back here of actually shorting in the market every time we came into this value zone, because the slope of the EMA was actually pointing to the downside. But what's happening in this area right here in the last few weeks? We've been slightly up, slightly down, slightly up, slightly down. Now we're starting to tick to the upside. You can see that we're in that sideways trading range action. And the reason that this is confirmed is, look, every time we come below this low, there's been a lot of buyers, buying and selling. The reason being is that we're in that trading range action. Every time we come up here, there's sellers, and there's even a few sellers in this area. So you can see we're moving in this sideways direction. The goal when we're in a trading range is to buy low, sell high, and scalp. And if the exponential moving average is showing us that we're in this trading range price action, then that's what a lot of traders are going to do. They're not going to expect, like we had back here, that we're just going to be in a trending market, because the EMA through here is showing us, okay, we're in a trending market to the downside. But when we come over to here, we don't have that trending exponential moving average, slightly up, slightly down. We're in that trading range, and a lot of people are just selling high, buying low, and they're scalping until the market makes a major move. What I am expecting is a strong break above this level, which initially is resistance. Once resistance gets broken through, it will then flip to a support level. We'll come back down, retest this area. That will be one of the most perfect buy zones, and then for a major push to the upside. So stay tuned and make sure you're watching all these videos, as I'll tell you as soon as it happens. Now, looking at Ethereum, we're even more bullish than Bitcoin. Again, at this major support level. The reason that this support level is major is because back here, we had a major resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4 tries, 5 tries, 6 tries, 7 tries to break to the upside. And this was initially a resistance level. But then look what happened. We broke above, we came back down. What happened with this resistance level? It was then used as support, and then we flipped to the upside. You can see coming back down here, supporting. We did have that slight wick to the downside in this area here when we finished the 60-day cycle low right in there. But you can see that that is not overly bearish. Reason being is if we did close on this low down here, then that would be a bear case. But as soon as price came into this area, there was a lot of buyers to then push the price back up, and look where we closed. We closed in this support area. We never actually closed below the support area. And the reason we haven't broken to the upsides, you can see these few candles through here were actually quite bearish. There were a lot of buyers in this area, and what they're expecting, since this EMA is slightly ticking to the downside, in between these EMAs being the value zone, there are sellers. You can see right now we had 1 sell, 2 sell, 3 sell, 4 sell, 5, 6, 7. We've had multiple days inside of that value zone, and anytime the price comes down, that's the place to sell, as that is the old term value zone. Now on the 4-hourly chart for Ethereum, you can see coming down to this zone, we did have that strong breakdown to the downside, and we also had a strong breakdown on the MACD. Then we had a lower low in price, but we had that higher low on the MACD histogram, which is showing that divergence pattern. Price is making a lower low, but the histogram is making a higher low, showing that the volume is now beginning to fade from the short side, and a lot of buyers are actually coming into the market to then push us higher. But you can see that we are in this trading range price action. Again, back here, you can see that the EMA was trending to the downside, which means that you can sell and you can hold for a longer period because you're expecting that trending market to continue. But what's happening in this area here? We're slightly up, slightly down, slightly up, slightly down, and now in the last few days we've been slightly ticking to the upside. So we're in that sideways price action, and when we're in trading range price action, the goal is to buy low, sell high, and scalp, because we're not going to be trending for a long term to the upside or even the downside. As you can see, every time we've come near this level right through here, there's been buyers. So they've been buying low, and then every time we come up to this top side of the range, top side, there's been sellers. So people are buying low, they're selling high, and they're scalping. They're not expecting positions to run for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and just continuously grow up or even continuously grow down. They're just buying low, they're selling high, and they're scalping. So that's what we need to expect to do in the next few days until we get this solid move to the upside. What I am expecting is a break of this level, come back and then retest. Once this resistance does get broken through, it will then flip to a support level. This will be the perfect entry zone and then looking for big pushes to the upside. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment if you're enjoying these daily videos. That's all I have for you for today. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.